to our starting lineups. First for the visitors, the Crimson Tide. Up first, senior, number 1, Christian Vasquez. Junior, number 2, Samir King DaCosta. Senior, number 3, Jaden Sanchez. Senior, number 4, Adam Mazoud. And junior, number 14, Jaden Alcindor. Head coach, Gerard Boyce. Now for the starting lineups for the home team, your Lynn Classical Rams. Up first, sophomore, number 3, Devon Rucker. Senior, number 5, DJ Reynolds. Senior, number 35, Shy Babb. Senior, number 1, Deshaun Rucker. And senior, number 2, Cam Rucker. Head coach for the Rams, Marvin Avery. We ask at this time that you please rise and move your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 235 O'Callahan Way, where your Lynn Classical Rams are hosting GBL rival, the Everett Crimson Tide. Classical coming in this one after a loss to Swampscott, an old NEC matchup. Sorry, Mr. Donahue was at home sick with the norovirus, so we weren't able to bring you that one live. Everett coming to this one. Number 3 in the GBL, 12-9 record last game versus Beverly. Starting lineup, you heard him earlier, but let's go through them again. Christian Vasquez, Samir King DaCosta, Jaden Sanchez, Adam at Mazoud, and number 14, Jaden Alcindor. Starting lineup for the Lynn Classical Rams, Deshaun Rucker, Cameron Rucker, Devon Rucker, and DJ Reynolds, and including Shaim Babb. We'll go to the half mark for the tip-off. We got Davian working on graphics today, and one of our very best up in the perch, bringing you these smooth and steady shots, and that's Angel Jimenez. Taking the tip for the Rams is going to be Shaim Babb, and the tip-off, Samir King DaCosta, junior center out of Everett. Last time these teams matched up, Classical walked away with a victory, 75-62, and they're hoping to wrap up the regular season with another victory here. Devon Rucker looking at DJ Reynolds down low, over to Shaim Babb, trying for 2, not there. Everett on the rebound. Vasquez with the rock. Passes over to Mazoud. Mazoud with Rucker in front. Nice little pass inside to King DaCosta, going up for the layup, denied by the Babster. Now Classical on the move offensively. Devon Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds passing over to the adjacent, find Cam Rucker. Cam trying to do the work with the legs, got to go to Devon Rucker. Rucker trying his work inside the paint, not there. Classical trying to create some separation with passes and look for a lane. Everett doing a good job playing nice and tight on the zone. Good job by number 1, Christian Vasquez, to slow things down for the Rams. 12 seconds on the shot clock, and just about already through the first minute of the first here. Cameron Rucker to Deshaun Rucker, one in front, driving inside the paint, goes for the layup, not there. Babb trying to clean it up, has a second chance at it. Reynolds there on the rebound, gonna go to try up high. Team foul against Everett, and that's gonna be an inbound for the Rams. Cameron Rucker to take the inbounding responsibility. Surveying, he's going high over to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds with the seam, passes it back outside to Deshaun Rucker for three, nothing there. And Everett's Jaden Alcindor on the rebound. Classical back to retreat to defense. Everett on the move, passes outside of Vasquez. Vasquez drives inside, goes up for two. Cameron Rucker pulls down the board. Rucker now over to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds looking for a little bit of help, swarmed immediately by the Everett defense. A high pass over to Deshaun Rucker, sails over his head out of bounds. Everett to inbound here in their own territory. Everett on the move. Over to Vasquez. Vasquez with Rucker in front. Vasquez trying to find a seam there, closed in by the Classical defense. Passes outside to Sanchez. Sanchez finds help over in Alcindor. Alcindor on the way up, denied by the Classical D. Babb on the rebound. Deshaun Rucker on the move, stolen away by Everett. And the move by Sanchez puts Everett on the board first time tonight. Cameron Rucker with the inbound from Deshaun Rucker. Over to Devon Rucker. It's Cam Rucker inside of Babb. Babb back to Cameron Rucker. Surveying, going back inside of Babb. Cameron Rucker to Deshaun Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds with Vasquez stepping up. Devon Rucker trying to find a seam there. Everett defense collapses in quick. Cameron Rucker almost pulls up for three, has to do the work with the legs to get inside. Board fielded well by King DaCosta. King DaCosta passes back outside, wide open for a three. Jaden Alcindor knocks down three for the Everett Crimson Tide. 5-0, Everett over Classical. Number one hosting number three in the GBL today. Cameron Rucker to Deshaun Rucker, inside of DJ Reynolds. Reynolds sees a seam, goes up for two. Babb on the rebound, able to make it count. Babb takes a hard fall, slow to get back up. 5-2. Babb scores the first points of the night for the Rams. Inbound coming from number two, King DaCosta. Passes over to Atmazoud. Atmazoud with Rucker in front. Trying to show the muscle off. Has to go over to the adjacent to Vasquez. Vasquez with Cameron Rucker in front. Sees a bit of a seam, drives inside the paint, pulls up for a jumper, nothing there. DJ Reynolds, right time, right place for the rebound, just a little slow. Sanchez comes screaming in for it, stolen away by Classical. Deshaun Rucker over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker, offensive opportunity squandered by the quick retreating Everett Crimson Tide. And a pass outside to King DaCosta, going up for two, nothing there. And Alcindor on the rebound. Gets a shot at redemption a couple of times. Jump ball call. Everett to inbound here in Classical territory. Atmazoud to take that responsibility. Atmazoud surveying. A long inbound intended for Vasquez. And just under the time frame to inbound the ball. Good defense by Classical to stall the inbound on Everett's accord. Classical back at it offensively. Reynolds inside, passes outside to Deshaun Rucker, looking to Babb inside. Babb on the way up, knocks down two more. Shy Babb doing what he do. 5-4, Crimson Tide over Classical. Inbound received well by Atmazoud. Atmazoud with Rucker in front. Atmazoud's got the speed to get past just about anybody. Passes down low to Vasquez. Vasquez swallowed up by Cameron Rucker. Passes over to the adjacent, finds Atmazoud. Atmazoud passes inside over to King DaCosta. King DaCosta on the way up, can't get it to fall. Out of bounds, off the Rams. Everett to inbound here in Classical territory. Sanchez surveying. Passes right inside, looking for King DaCosta. Just out of reach. King DaCosta gonna get another shot at it. Babb serving up the rubber biscuits, knocks that one away. Classical on the move offensively. Cameron Rucker with one in front. Potential steal, fielded well. Good heads-up play by number 2 out of Everett, King DaCosta, to show the hustle. And the steal on Jaden Sanchez. At Mizzou scores his first 2 points of the night. 3 minutes left here in the first. 7-4, Everett over Classical. Devon Rucker to Deshaun Rucker. Bounce pass inside to Reynolds. Reynolds with 2 in front. Has to retreat. Finds a little bit of a seam. Drives inside. Nice little spin move. Trying to roll it in. Can't get it to go. Board fielded well by Sanchez. Sanchez goes right away over to Vasquez. Vasquez passes it off to Atmazoud. Atmazoud drives inside. Goes for 2. Board pulled down by Reynolds. Reynolds passes off over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker goes up for 2. Gets hackalacked on the way up. And Rucker gonna go to the line. And they'll get Vasquez on the foul, second of the day. First of 2, no good. Devon Rucker lines up for redemption here, gets it to fall. 7-5. And we'll make sure that our camera guy, Angel Jimenez, is following the ball. Pass inside over to number 2. King DaCosta going up for it. Can't get it to go. Able to field his own rebound. And gets a pass over to Sanchez. Sanchez pulling up for a nice little jump, but knocks down 2 more. 4 on the night for Sanchez. Nine to 5, Everett over Classical. Deshaun Rucker. Over to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker has a bit of a space. Pulls up for 3, nothing there. Board pulled down by Emmanuel Nelson out of Everett. At Mizzou at the point position. Devon Rucker gets picked, able to retreat and get back on the defense. King DaCosta sees a bit of a seam, drives inside, knocks down 2 more. Samir King DaCosta. First points of the night. Deshaun Rucker from Cam Rucker. Over to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds driving inside, goes up for 2. DJ Reynolds getting strong inside the paint. His first points of the night, 11-7. Just about 60 seconds left here in the first. Pulling up for a 2-pointer, number 15, off of the Everett bench, Emmanuel Nelson. Cameron Rucker, final 60 seconds of the first. Inside to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds pulls up for 2, just a little shallow. Board pulled down by Sanchez. Sanchez on the move offensively. Sees a bit of a seam, passes outside. At Mizzou from the point position. Devon Rucker in front. At Mizzou barks out his orders, goes over to Al Sendor. Al Sendor on the way up, makes it count. 5 on the night for Jaden Al Sendor. 30 seconds left, 15-7. Classical in a bit of a drought offensively. Passes over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker back to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker surveying. Waiting these final seconds, gives it over to DJ Reynolds, back outside, over to Devon Rucker, to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker thinking about pulling up for 3, just a little bit too much. And DJ Reynolds on the way up, gets hit in the head. Hack-a-lack means he's gonna go to the line for 2. First at the line for Reynolds. And Everett's going to have a chance at a Hail Mary if Reynolds sinks both of them. Otherwise, Classical's going to be fighting for the rebound. Reynolds, first of 2, bounces off the back of the rim. No good. David Xavier to come on, and Samir King DaCosta to come off for Everett. Shot number 2, good for the man they know as DJ Reynolds. 3 on the night for Reynolds, and driving inside just at the buzzer, running out of time, Jaden Sanchez. And at the end of 1, Classical trailing GBL rival Everett 15-8. We'll be back right after this break.
Since 1986, Lynn Educational Television has enabled students to work in the television industry and learn how to produce media. LETV creates working opportunities for Lynn students, giving them the benefit of gaining real-life work experience in production. Lynn Educational Television brings value to Lynn students, delivering standards-based curriculum in the classroom from middle school to high school. LETV creates future generations of media professionals.
Subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening right here in the Lynn Public Schools District. I'm your announcer tonight, Sean Donahue. With me is, who do we got working with us? Angel Jimenez up in the perch, bringing you these smooth and steady shots. Davian Rivera down low, bringing you the graphics. Classical coming into this one with a 16-3 overall record, 12-1 in the GBL, and a #1 standing after they lost to Swampscott earlier this week. Sorry we couldn't bring you that one live. I was at home with the norovirus. I guess it's better to get it on vacation rather than during the school year. And I have a sneaking suspicion that our winter breaks are partly for that reason, to stem our illnesses. Last time these teams matched up, Classical walked away 75-62 as the victors, in Everett coming in for a makeup game and looking for redemption. Sitting at the #3 spot with a 12-9 record, Everett's last game versus Beverly. Classical to inbound here in Chelsea in their own territory. Cameron Rucker right away to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker with that Mazode in front. Over to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker. Over to Deshaun Rucker. Sorry, Devon Rucker. DJ Reynolds goes up for 2. And Everett attacking the boards. Classical not getting a lot of chances at redemption after the rebounds. Everett going up quick for it. Bounce pass inside. That one for King DaCosta. King DaCosta on the way up, can't get it to go. Devon Rucker to Cameron Rucker. Pulls up for 3. Cameron Rucker knocks down 3 more for the Rams. His first points of the night for the senior out of Classical. Just about halfway through the second right here. At Mazud with the rock. Surveying. Passes over to Xavier. Xavier looking at number 15, Nelson. Nelson back to Atmazud. Atmazud sees a bit of a lane. Stolen away by Rucker. Rucker on the move offensively. Now Cameron Rucker looks inside to Shaheem Bab. Bab on the way up. Knocks it down, Shaheem Bab. Great team effort there by the Rams to put Everett back on their heels. And I think that's going to have to be how they transition. Is they're going to need to attack these guys right on the transition and catch them out of defensive position. Everett winning the game underneath the hoop much of the game. And that's been a big difference maker here as they lead the #1 seed in the GBL, 21-18. Handful of timeouts always gives us an opportunity to thank our viewers and subscribers. If you're a Comcast or Verizon subscriber, we always like to say thanks. Without you, we wouldn't be able to offer the television media curriculum to the Lynn Public student body from middle school all the way to high school. Coach Boyce takes his time out to chalk it up with the Crimson Tide. Classical ready defensively already. Everett on the move offensively. Elson-Dor passes over to Nelson. Emmanuel Nelson now with the rock. Handoff over to Saul Flores. Flores trying to test the waters, drives inside, pushed back out by the Classical defense. And Everett trying to find these seams just at the top of the key. Hackalact on his way up, and Flores not the recipient of the foul. However, Samir King DaCosta is his first time at the line tonight. And it looks like they're gonna catch Cameron Rucker first foul of the game. First at the line for King DaCosta, no good. 4 in the night for King DaCosta so far. King DaCosta lines it up off the front. Babb pulls down the board, goes right away to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker surveying, goes to Deshaun Rucker. Devon Rucker, back to Devon Rucker. Pulls up for three, can't get it to go. And Cameron Rucker quick to retreat. Good heads-up defense by the Rams to get back on a defense and slow this offensive attack down by the Crimson Tide. But don't tell that to Nathaniel Nelson. Nelson drops in his first points of the night, 24-18, just about 2.5 left here in the second. Devon Rucker gets the rock from Cameron Rucker, sees a seam, drives inside, pulls up for two, can't get it to go. Babb trying for the rebound, reaches up over the back. And that'll be the second team foul for the Rams here in the second. And that's what you hear from across the way from the fan base, is that you gotta get rebounds. Everett doing a phenomenal job at boxing out the guys down low for the Rams, and that's been a lot of what's been going on. Driving inside, Vasquez forced to pass back outside to Nelson. Nelson looks up top over to Vasquez. Vasquez with one in front, gets a pick on his left-hand side, able to get inside the paint. Now Cam Rucker covers it up. Shot coming off of the fingertips of Allison Dorr, not there. Everett gets a chance at redemption, and Samir King DaCosta knocks down his 6th point of the night. Just about 90 seconds left here in the first half. Cameron Rucker with the rock and loses it, but able to gain possession back. Goes over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Back downside into Rucker. Rucker passes over to Babb, and Rucker must have been caught stepping on the line. Zamari Babb to come off, and Deshaun Rucker to come on. And now Classical back on it defensively. Vasquez trying to drive inside, passes over to King DaCosta. King DaCosta on the way up. Babb trying to get a swat at it, enough to shy away. And Cameron Rucker with a nice pass down to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker lays it in for two, his first points of the night. Final 60 seconds of the second. 26-20. Everett, number 3 in the GBL, leading Classical, number 1 in the GBL. Vasquez gets the pass, thinks about pulling up. Rucker in front, trying to find a bit of a seam. Now looking back, and Classical's defense swarms Vasquez. Vasquez driving inside, passes up top, over to number 11. Saul Flores' a shot just a little shy. Out of bounds, Classical ball. 25 seconds left here in the second. Reynolds gets the inbound to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker surveying, one in front. Classical doing what they can to make sure that they're the last on offense here in the first half. Cameron Rucker pulls up for 3, can't get it to go. DJ Reynolds in a scrum for it for the rebound, and Vasquez, too strong, steals it away. So as we head into halftime, Classical trailing GBL rival, the Everett Crimson Tide, 26-20. I'm your announcer, Sean Donahue, and we'll be back right after this break.
What is community? It's more than just where you live. It's where you feel safe, seen, and valued.
It's built on trust, respect, and working together.
Every small act, every helping hand creates a ripple effect.
Turning a negative moment into a positive one. Lifting each other up when we stumble.
Unity isn't just a word. It's the foundation of a thriving community.
It means embracing our differences and celebrating our shared humanity.
That's community.
Bring unity to your community. Hi, I'm Mikey, and I'm here to talk to you today about Lynn Classical Volleyball. The signups have already started, but you can still go talk to Coach LeBlanc in 8302 for more information. Come and join Lynn Classical Volleyball and have some fun with us. Have your parents ever told you to get your lazy butt out of your chair and go play outside? Well, look no further. With the Lynn Classical boys volleyball team, we are here to help. You know, it's a great sport, meet new people, but sadly we only offer this sport in March. For signups, go talk to Coach LeBlanc. Of course, you already know where he's located, 8302 if you forgot. Make sure you have an up-to-date physical clearing you to be able to play. Our practices are every weekday at 3 p.m. right after school. Make sure you get there as early as possible to help us with the setup of the net. We do practice on Saturday, but it's only for varsity, and it is at 8 to 10 a.m. If you're looking to get in shape, well, the Lynn Classical Volleyball team, well, more specifically, the boys Lynn Classical Volleyball team will help you get in shape. It won't just help you get in shape, but you'll meet excellent new people. They'll make you feel welcome from day one, and they'll have you have the time of your life. You'll have so much fun. Come and join us, why not?
At Classical, we believe that strong instruction is built through collaboration, reflection, and shared responsibility for student success. This week, every department is participating in a school-wide gallery walk featuring lesson artifacts created by our instructional leadership team. These artifacts include lesson tasks, student work, and teacher reflections, and they offer concrete examples of how intentional task design can deepen content learning, build academic language, and increase student engagement across all grade levels and disciplines. Many educators at Classical have engaged in professional development on quality teaching for English learners. This gallery walk is how we bring that learning to life, by learning from real classroom practice. As teachers move through the gallery, department heads facilitate a structured protocol using 4 detective lenses: content, language, equity, and collaboration, so teams can focus their thinking and learn with purpose. At each station, teachers leave appreciation-based feedback, allowing us to celebrate strong practice and continue to grow together. This is professional learning that is grounded, collective, and centered on our promise to students and families that equity is something we intentionally design for. This is how we turn shared vision into daily practice.
Just a quick scroll before I get to school. Love you too. When will you be home? Come on, notes here somewhere. These dang kids. I can't stop the feeling. Talk about a bad hair day. Oh man.
Welcome back if you're just joining us. Final regular season game for both teams. Number 1 in the GBL, Lynn Classical hosting number 3 in the GBL, Everett, and a makeup game from one of the earlier snow day games. Everett a little bit more seasoned coming into this one. Last time these teams matched up, Classical walked away with a victory 75-62, and I don't think a thromping is going to be the outcome of this one. Everett on the move offensively, and much of the game they've been capitalizing down low on the rebounds, boxing out the Rams and not giving any opportunities at redemption. Quick, clean shots, and Classical on the rebound. And I'm sure that's the name of the game that they heard inside the locker room from Coach Avery. Cameron Rucker on the way in, trying to pass outside to Devon Rucker, and now both Ruckers collapsing in, trying to snag that ball away from Mazoud, and Mazoud too strong. And it looks like he stepped right on the line. Classical to inbound far side of the court. Cameron Rucker tasked with that responsibility, calls up DJ Reynolds. Reynolds with the handoff over to Devon Rucker, to Deshaun Rucker, down low. Up top to Devon Rucker, pulls up for 3. Gets it to fall, and Sir Swish has arrived. Deshaun Rucker, 5 on the night so far. Devon Rucker in front at Mazoud with the point responsibility. Looking for a pick. Passes over to the adjacent, finds Alcindor, bounce pass inside of Vasquez. Stolen away by the Rams. Cameron Rucker on the move offensively. Everett quick to collapse in on defense. Rucker surveying, passes up top to Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker with 1 in front. Surveying, passes over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker passes to Deshaun Rucker. Up top, inside to Shaheem Babb. Babb gets down low and strong and shows why he's on the court. Shaheem Babb, 10 on the night so far, 8 in the first half. Classical within 1, 26-25. Everett leading over the Rams. Deshaun Rucker putting the hurts on defense, forcing that pass out. Everett loses possession of that one off of the Crimson Tide. Just out of reach for King DaCosta. Cameron Rucker to inbound here in Classical territory. Vasquez to come off. And didn't catch who was coming on. Usually it's Emmanuel Nelson. Backcourt violation on the Rams. Missed that one down looking at my roster. Silly way to turn the ball over here. Let's see what the Rams have in store for the Crimson Tide defensively. Inbound quick to Mazoud on the opposite side of the court. He brings it across the half mark, passes over to King DaCosta. King DaCosta looking over to the adjacent, finds number 3, Sanchez. Sanchez bounce pass over to number 14, Alcindor. Cameron Rucker in front, gets a pick on the right-hand side, drives inside, passes over to number 2, King DaCosta. King DaCosta finds Mazoud up top of the key. And now Nelson with the rock. Nelson sees a bit of a seam, passes off over to King DaCosta. Can't get it to go, trying for the rebound there, and now the Rams on the move offensively. Deshaun Rucker drives inside, passes over to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds going up for it, can't get it, fields his own rebound. Over to Rucker, Rucker pulling up for 3. Can't get that one to go. Knocked away back in the Crimson Tide possession. Mazoud, good heads-up play to get under that one and box out the Rams center. Nelson driving inside, passes up top over to Jaden Alcindor, not there. Babb on the rebound. Babb finds the Rucker, Rucker to Rucker, 1 in front. Rucker sees a bit of a seam, passes out to Cameron Rucker, wide open for 3. Can't get that one to go. Board pulled down by Alcindor. Alcindor passes off over to Mazoud. Mazoud surveying, Rucker in front, passes over to the adjacent and finds Sanchez. Sanchez now with the rock, passes back over to Mazoud. Mazoud retreating as Rucker pushing on defense. Passes over to the adjacent, finds Alcindor, and Alcindor doing the work. Goes up and makes it happen with ease, 28-25. Classical still trailing. Cameron Rucker gets a pick from DJ Reynolds, passes outside over to Deshaun Rucker for 3, nothing there. Board pulled down by the Crimson Tide. Foul gonna go into the category of Deshaun Rucker. And a little too far a reach in there. It's going to result here in an inbound for the Crimson Tide, right by the Classical bench. Inbound received well by Mazoud. At Mizzou with Rucker in front. Passes down low. Passes over to Alson Dorr. Alson Dorr passes up top over to Nelson. Nelson pulls up for three, just a little shy. Babb on the rebound. Babb over to Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker with one in front. Sanchez retreats the defense. Cameron Rucker now with the ball. Passes over to Devon Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds thinking about pulling up for three. Has to do the work to drive inside. And the Everett defense swallows up. Reynolds knocks that one out of bounds. Classical to inbound here in Everett territory. Vasquez to come off and Nelson. Vasquez to come on and Nelson to come off. Cameron Rucker with inbounding responsibility. Goes right away over to Morin. Morin finds Babb down low. Babb gets up high, knocks down two more for Shaheem Babb. 12 of the night for the Babster. At Mizzou with the rock. Devon Rucker in front. At Mizzou passes off over to number 3, Sanchez. Sanchez right back to At Mizzou. Vasquez surveying. Rucker in front, passes out over to Sanchez. Sanchez finds Vasquez on the cut outside. Vasquez, a shot not there. Morin on the rebound over to Rucker. Rucker with At Mizzou in front, gets tangled up, and now Everett on a fast break. Cam Rucker, last line of defense, passes over, creating some separation. And Vasquez gets one to fall after the hack-a-lack from Cameron Rucker. His first points of the night and the first time he'll be at the line. DJ Reynolds in for Eli Morin. Vasquez lines up 1 of 2. Sorry, 1 of 1 after the end 1. And he makes a count. Reynolds gets the inbound from Rucker. Rucker will take the point position across the way. Over to Devon Rucker. Back up top to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker passes inside to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds going to have to show some muscle to drive inside. Goes up for 2. Babb on the rebound. Makes it count. Shaheem Babb. 14 on the night for Babb. 31-29. Classical still trying to get into the lead on this one. Everett's defense showing a lot of reluctancy to let that happen. Reynolds in front. And now Jaden Alcindor swallowed up, tries to pass off to At Mizzou. Nice pass inside of Vasquez, and Vasquez drops down 2 more. Vasquez finding his stroke here in the third. 33-29. And Coach Boy's going to take a timeout to chalk it up with the Crimson Tide. That'll give us an opportunity to say thanks to our viewership. Thanks if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening right here in the city of Lynn. I'm your announcer tonight from Lynn Educational Television, Sean Donahue. And here with me up on the perch, bringing you these smooth and steady shots, Angel Jimenez. Down low on graphics is Davian Rivera. If you're a Comcast or Verizon subscriber, thank you for your subscription. Without you, we wouldn't be able to offer television media as part of the curriculum to the student body here in the Lynn Public Schools District, from middle school all the way to high school. Happy to bring you GBL basketball, #1 in the league, hosting #3 in the league here in a makeup game. Everett with a record of 12-9. Classical with an overall record of 16-3. A 12-1 record. That one loss to Somerville earlier on in the season with a heartbreaker, and they haven't really looked back. Classical coming in off a fresh loss versus their old NEC rival, Swampscott. Final seconds game, and it turned into a 4-point loss for the Rams. After the timeout, we'll get back to work offensively. Rucker to Rucker. 2 in front. Everett sticking to this tight zone, sharing the responsibility defensively. And it's not going to work too well with Shaheem Babb driving inside off the pass from DJ Reynolds. Babb in a hot streak, 8 in the first half. Now 16 on the night. Pass down low over to #3, Sanchez. Sanchez passes off over to Vasquez. Back to Sanchez. Sanchez sees a bit of a seam. passes over to the adjacent, pass down low, gives an opportunity for Jaden Alcindor to pull up for three. Classical on the rebound. DJ Reynolds finds a seam, driving inside, gets hackalacked on the way up. That's the first team foul for the Crimson Tide here. In the third, Reynolds gonna go to the line, and he'll shoot two. Reynolds has an opportunity to tie it up, and the first time we'd see a tie between these two teams since the beginning of the first. First to two, nothing but net, and that's exactly what he wants to see. Reynolds lines up 2 of 2, and a little bit of deja vu. Reynolds with 8 on the night, 6 in the first half. Rucker in front at Mazood, trying to pass down low, gets it to King DaCosta. King DaCosta gets hackalacked on his way up. He'll go to the line for 1. 6 in the first half for Samir King DaCosta. 8 on the night, and he'll line up 1-on-1 here after the foul. And Cameron Rucker gets his 3rd foul of the game. Can't get it there. Reynolds pulls down the board. Now Classical's on the move offensively. Devon Rucker to DJ Reynolds to Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker surveying. Everett quick to attack. Babb comes up for a pick. Passes outside over to Cameron Rucker. To Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker surveying, trying for Babb. Just a little out of reach. Stolen away by King DaCosta. King DaCosta goes to Mazood. Mazood passes over on a transition to Vasquez. Vasquez back up top to Mazood. Rucker in front. Mazood surveying. Passes over to number 14, Alcindor. Alcindor over to King DaCosta. Pulling up for 3, Christian Vasquez. Nothing there. Ever got a chance at redemption. Another 3-point attempt. Board pulled down by Rucker. Rucker on the move. Final 40 seconds left here in the third. 35-33. Everett over Classical. Cameron Rucker passes, or attempting to pass inside to Reynolds. Reynolds just out of reach. And luckily on the backup is Devon Rucker. And there's Deshaun Rucker knocking it down for 3. Deshaun Rucker 8 on the night. Only 2 in the first half. Final seconds of the third, ticking away. Mazood with the rock, able to get past Rucker. Passes over to Vasquez. Vasquez pulls up, nothing there. Rucker on the rebound. Final 2 seconds, takes the shot. Long and up top, and that one won't go. After 3, Classical able to take their first lead, 36-35 against GBL rival, the Everett Crimson Tide. I'm Sean Donahue from LETV telling you we'll be back right after this break.
Hello, I'm Kevin Burnett. I've been working at LETV since my junior year. Are you interested in creating media for your school or city? Lynn Educational Television is for you. Students like me have been producing media in Lynn since 1986. Students can be paid to film many of the city's various events, such as sports games and concerts. Students also learn various skills such as directing, audio and sound production, and editing. If this interests you, come down to the TV studio in B107 and talk to Mr. Donahue. If you're unable to come to the studio, you can email him at donahue@lynnschools.org. Join LETV today. Come to B107 and become a member of the crew.
So the first of 3 has been all Everett. Classical able to dig themselves back into this one. First time leading tonight. And Everett been doing the work down low underneath the hoop to box out the Rams. Not given any opportunity at redemption after any missed shots offensively, and Everett capitalizing. Last time these two teams matched up, it ended in a 75-72 victory for the Rams. And here, struggling to get past 40 in the first 3. Mazood gets the pass, passes down low. Trying for 2 there. Babb pulls down the board, goes right away to Reynolds. Reynolds to Rucker. Rucker with 2 in front, sees a bit of a seam, drives inside, has to pass up top to Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker trying to create some space with his feet, looking for Babb inside, knocked away by King DaCosta. Vasquez with the rock, Cameron Rucker in front, gets a pick on his left-hand side, pulls up for 2. And a foul call as Cameron Rucker all sorts of frustrated. Vasquez just as shocked that he got the call, but he'll gladly take his position at the line. And Vasquez finding a bit of a hot streak here in the second half. First, off the back of the rim and rolls off the front. The second, all good in the hood. 6 in the night for Vasquez. 36 all. Just about 7 left here in the fourth. Rucker surveying at Mazood in front, gets it over to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds has to salvage that one and keep the Rams from a backcourt violation. Inside of Babb, Babb gets up tall and knocks down 2 more. Babb with 18 on the night. And Coach Avery gonna take a timeout to chalk it up with the Rams. First on his itinerary is Cameron Rucker. Rucker with 4 fouls so far in this game, and he's gonna have to be careful. Whether or not the last one was legitimate isn't really up for debate anymore. Classical with their first 2-point lead of the game. And Everett is speedy, staying in this tight zone defense, which has really forced the Rams to try to create some separation with ball movement. A lot of driving in, trying to pull defenders off of the guys down low. Babb starting to have himself a night, as that's been part of the game plan moving forward here in the second half. And Classical doing a fantastic job at receiving the boards after the shot attempts from the Crimson Tide here in the second half. And final regular season game for both of these teams. Classical is certainly going to see a home playoff game this year. When it will be is still uncertain, but where it will be is certainly going to be the case. Everett trying to put the works on the Rams right away after the inbound. Over to number 14, passes from Alcindor. I'm looking for, I think that's King DaCosta down low. Out of bounds off the Rams at Mizzou to take the inbounding responsibility. Passes inside, looking for Vasquez. Vasquez can't get a clean handle on it as DJ Reynolds is right there up in his mug. So Everett gonna get redemption at the inbound at Mizzou. Surveying. 5-second violation. Second time that's happened for the Crimson Tide. 6.5 left here in the fourth. Rucker to Rucker. Sean Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds surveying, doesn't have much of an opportunity to push in through a lane. Goes over to Cameron Rucker, finds DJ Reynolds. Reynolds got to get strong and up over King DaCosta. And he gets called for a travel. That extra step's going to land him on a trip back to defense. And on the way, he'll have to hear a 2-hour seminar from Coach Avery on how to jump instead of step. At Mizzou with Rucker in front. At Mizzou passes over to Alcindor. Alcindor pulls up for 3, not there. Babb pulls down the board with ease. Over to Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker driving inside, sees a bit of a seam, goes up for two, not there. Mazoud pulls down the rebound. Everett on the move offensively. Over to Samir King DaCosta, nothing there. Mazoud on the rebound. Stolen away by Babb. Jump ball call. Babb arguing whether there was any extracurricular on the play, but it's not up for debate. Cameron Rucker to inbound for the Rams. Deshaun Rucker on the receiving end. 38-36, just about 5.5. Reynolds trying to find Rucker. First to it is Sanchez. Sanchez passes over to Mazoud. And now Everett, just like that, back on it offensively. On the way up, Samir King DaCosta catches a hack-a-lack, and he's going to go to the line for two. So Classical staying tight for the rebound. Everett going to retreat right to defense. King DaCosta making a living at the line here in the second. First of two, all good in the hood. 9 on the night for Samir King DaCosta. Lining up 2-2. Gets it to go. And shows his gratitude on the way over. 10 on the night for King DaCosta. 38 all here in just about the final 5 minutes of the fourth. Rucker to Rucker. Mazoud in front. Over to Devon Rucker. Back up top to Deshaun Rucker. Looking for Reynolds inside. Sloppy pass forces Babb up top. Babb trying to fall on it. We got a foul call. And who is going to get it? So Samir King DaCosta handing out the fouls. Babb gets the rebound right away from Rucker. Knocks down two more. Shaheem Babb getting up tall. 20 on the night for Babb. Final 5 minutes of the fourth ticking away. Mazoud passes to the adjacent. Looking over to Vasquez, and Vasquez finds Alcindor Dor back up top to Vasquez. Vasquez with the bounce pass inside for King DaCosta. Out of bounds, off of the Crimson Tide. Rams ball. Cameron Rucker with the inbound right away to Deshaun Rucker. Back to Cameron Rucker. Cameron Rucker with Sanchez in front. Sanchez putting the works on. Cameron Rucker able to retaliate after that one. Scoops up the ball. Now Babb driving inside the paint on his way up. Gets hack-a-lacked by Samir King DaCosta. And Babbs and King DaCosta exchanging fouls. Bit of a roommate situation for these two fellas at the foul line tonight. Babb 1 of 1 makes it count. 1 of 2, sorry. Two of 2, all good in the hood. 22 on the night for Shaheem Babb, the senior out of Classical. Mazoud with the rock to take the point position. Devon Rucker in front, surveying. Bounce pass over to number 1, Christian Vasquez. Vasquez has to put the works on offensively to create some space. And Deshaun Rucker hustling for it. Both him and King DaCosta on the attempt for the ball. King DaCosta takes a seat. And a bit of conflict between referees. Amazou with the inbound right away to Vasquez. Vasquez with DJ Reynolds in front. Pass inside to King DaCosta. King DaCosta going up for two, catches a foul. And it looks like they're gonna get Babb on the foul. King DaCosta going to the line again. King DaCosta lines up 1 of 2. In and out. Rolls around the inside of the hoop. And he'll take 2 of 2. Up off the back of the rim. Babb pulls down the board right away to Cameron Rucker. Just about 3.5 left here in the fourth. Over to Deshaun Rucker. Back to Cameron Rucker. To Deshaun Rucker. Deshaun Rucker looking at Reynolds. Reynolds passes down low over to Devon Rucker. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds to Rucker. Classical trying to create some space with the feet. Back up top to Deshaun Rucker. Pulls up for 3. In and out. Reynolds pulls down the board. Can't get a clean handle on it. Vasquez pulls it away. And Vasquez now surveying. Gets that one at Mazoud right away. At Mazoud finds Alcindor. Alcindor over to King DaCosta. King DaCosta with Babb in front. Over to Sanchez. Sanchez looking inside, finds Vasquez. Vasquez takes a hard foul. And then they're gonna get Cameron Rucker on a foul again. Fifth foul of the night. And that one will hurt. And everybody in a green shirt is letting the refs know how much they know about basketball. Tough crowd here at Classical, and your boys hoops varsity team is holding the #1 seed for much of the game. Mazoud, the inbound for the Everett Crimson Tide. Right away to Vasquez. Vasquez on the way up. Gets it to go, and Shaheem Babb gonna get caught on the foul. 8 on the night for Christian Vasquez. And now Vasquez going on the line. Third team foul for Babb. 42-41. And an odd last couple of minutes has put the Rams at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the momentum of this game. 42-41. Rucker to Rucker. Rucker trying to show the muscle. Right away, Sanchez comes up to play defense. Over to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker to DJ Reynolds. Reynolds surveying to Devon Rucker. Devon Rucker swallowed up right away by Sanchez. Inside to Babb. Reynolds driving in. Gets hackalacked on his way up. And that's gonna send DJ Reynolds to the line for 2. Just about 2.5 left here in the fourth. Reynolds lines up 1 of 2 and makes it count. 8 on the night for DJ Reynolds. Two of 2, all good in the hood, and those points certainly going to count as these final seconds tick away. Mazoud with the rock, Rucker in front. Pass over to number 14, Alcindor. Alcindor loses trace of that one. Out of bounds off of Everett Classical ball. Sean Rucker to inbound for the Rams. And Coach Boyce going to take some time to chalk it up with the Crimson Tide. And that gives us an opportunity to say thanks to our viewership. If you're a Comcast and Verizon subscriber, thank you for your subscription. Without you, we wouldn't be able to offer television media as part of the curriculum to the student body here within the Lynn Public Schools District. We offer TV media as a curriculum from middle school all the way to high school. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening right here in the city of Lynn. I'm your announcer tonight from Lynn Educational Television, Sean Donahue. Happy to bring you GBL Varsity Boys Basketball. Up in the perch, bringing you these smooth and steady shots is Angel Jimenez. And on graphics is Davian Rivera. And a bit of a different game here in the second matchup between these two teams. Much of a defensive struggle. High-scoring game is what separated these teams last time. Classical walking away with a victory, 75-62. And Everett trying to find redemption late in the regular season. So Cameron Rucker, 5 fouls, and 2, I would say, are questionable. 1, certainly uncalled for, and not at his disadvantage. Devon Rucker up top to Deshaun Rucker, to DJ Reynolds, back to Rucker. Rucker with Atmazoud in front, looking at Reynolds. Reynolds trying to drive inside on the way up, gets it to go. Reynolds gets hackalacked on the way up, and they're going to count the points. So we'll go to the line for 1. Or no, he won't. So no points. Babb to inbound, goes right away to Rucker. Rucker with Sanchez in front, goes to Reynolds. Reynolds, the high bounce, loses possession of that one. And Everett now to inbound here in classical in their own territory. Sanchez with the inbound. King DaCosta with the rock, looking at Atmazoud right away. Rucker in front. Atmazoud's got the speed to King DaCosta. Babb underneath. Knocked away by Shaheem Babb, serving up the rubber biscuits. Looking for the transition. Reynolds out of position. And whether he was going to Reynolds or if he was going to Zamari Babb, out of bounds off of the Rams. And Everett gets a bit of a gift from the Rams. Late Valentine's Day gift. Vasquez with the rock, Reynolds in front. Vasquez trying to create some separation with the feet right away to Atmazoud. Atmazoud pulls up. Can't get it to go, sees a bit of a seam, makes his own space, over to King DaCosta. Shaheem Babb knocks it down. Well-timed timeout from Coach Avery, but not before the team foul delivered by Everett. Up and over the back of Babb, that's gonna send him to the line. And he's gonna get 2 from the line. 71 seconds left in regulation of this game. Babb makes his first of 2. 23 on the night for Shaheem Babb. 8 in the first half. Babb really turning it on here. 2 of 2, no good. Board pulled down by Everett. Right away, Atmazoud on the move offensively. On the way up, knocked away, rubber biscuit, served up by Shaheem Babb. Rucker now, looking at Rucker. Timeout here from Coach Avery. And not so shy guy, Shaheem Babb, doing what he do out here. 1 pant leg and all. 45-41, final 60 seconds of regulation ticking away here. Inbound gonna come from the far side of the court. And Everett capitalizing early on in this one. much of the name of the game was defense, and Everett capitalizing, especially down low onto the hoop. Classical not getting all those extra shots at redemption that they usually see down low. Cameron Rucker fouling out about halfway through the fourth. So Zamari Babb will step in. Babb doing what he does to put the pressure on the Crimson Tide defensively. All these youngsters all here trying to get their groove on this song. And I don't know if they know anything about it. Inbound from Reynolds, right away to Rucker. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds swarmed right away by the defense. And looks like we got another team foul against the Crimson Tide. And they'll catch Sanchez on the elbow. That'll send Reynolds to the line. And I think that's the guy you want at the line tonight. One to two, all good in the hood. Reynolds crosses a double-digit threshold with that one. 2-2 for Reynolds. A little bit of deja vu. 11 on the night for Reynolds, 6 in the first half. Inbound right away to Mazoud. And the urgency is at the floor, courtesy of the Everett Crimson Tide. Looks right away over to number 1, Christian Vasquez. Vasquez passes to Mazoud. Mazoud over to Alcindor. Alcindor with Rucker in front. Alcindor trying to find Christian Vasquez, and Rucker putting the hurts on defensively. And a high pass to King DaCosta. Babb trying to get up there for it. King DaCosta's shot no good. Now Classical on the move offensively. Final 15 seconds. Reynolds looks inside of Babb. Babb trying to tick away these seconds here. Rucker looks to Reynolds. Final 5 seconds ticking away. Over to Rucker. Rucker's going to take this one, and Classical's going to walk away with a victory. 47-41. Classical able to maintain their GBL #1 standing against GBL rival, the Everett Crimson Tide. And boy, howdy, if you like defensive struggles, this was one to watch. Everett going to wrap up the regular season with a 12-10 record. Classical going to advance to 17-3 overall. And we should certainly have a home game here. Classical making the sweep over GBL rival this year, the 2025-2026 season. Player of the game with 23 points, Shaheed Babb, and right behind him, DJ Reynolds with 11. Both of these guys in the single digits in the first half, doing what they got to do to bring the team up and over Everett. Everett sticking at that #3 position in the GBL. 47-41 at the end of this one. From Lynn Educational Television, I'm Sean Donahue, wishing you all the best.